Stage, a place where dreams shine, but also where the most heartbreaking moments are witnessed. The laughter, the applause, suddenly turns into a deathly silence. A comedian collapses amidst the uproarious laughter of thousands of fans. An actor falls on set after a gun misfires. They leave right in front of the audience, not in a script, but in a true tragedy. But that's not all the pain. The 30 stories I'm about to share will show you the heartbreaking tales of Hollywood stars who left us in ways no one could have predicted. Get your tissues ready, because what's about to be revealed will make you cry. 1. Papa Wemba, the African music legend, collapsing in the spotlight. Papa Wemba, the king of Rumba Congo, is an eternal icon of African music. He revolutionized the Rumba Congo genre, taking it across borders to become the distinctive sound of the continent. With a career spanning decades, Papa Wemba won millions of hearts with his mesmerizing voice and fashion-forward style, leading the Sapeur movement. He was a guiding light for Congo's art and culture, not just at home, but globally. On April 24, 2016, at a music festival in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, Papa Wemba took the stage as usual, his radiant smile and the aura of a legend accompanying him. Amidst the dazzling lights and roaring applause, he sang, powerful, full of energy, as if immersing himself in the melodies. But suddenly, in a burst of excitement, he froze. The music played for a moment longer, but everything fell silent as he collapsed. The cause was later determined to be heart failure, but for many, it was the heart of a great artist that had burned until the very last moment. His heart, perhaps, had beaten too fast, too strong, unable to withstand the passion and burning love for music. Papa Wemba's passing is a huge loss, but the legacy he left behind will forever endure, like a flame that never dies. He was not just an artist, he was a symbol of innovation and the free spirit of African music. The artist may have collapsed on stage, but the light he brought will forever shine in our hearts, one fan said about him. We mourn Papa Wemba not only for his talent, but for the indomitable spirit he represented, an artist who lived and died for his passion. 2. Costa Titch, the flame that burned bright, extinguished in the dark. Costa Titch, the rising star of South African music, was an undeniable phenomenon. He captivated fans with his unique blend of rap and electronic music, bringing South African music culture to the world. With a string of hit songs, Costa embodied youth, ambition, and talent, a promising symbol of the new generation. But the fateful night of March 11, 2023, took it all away. Under the blinding lights at the Ultra South Africa Festival, Costa Titch stepped on stage like a god. The crowd erupted, moving to every beat, every step he took. Costa, exuding confidence, ignited the crowd with an energetic performance. But tragedy struck unexpectedly. At the peak of his performance, Costa staggered. He stumbled and fell in front of thousands of horrified eyes. Fans thought it was part of the act, but the truth was far more brutal. Costa got back up and continued performing, as if nothing could stop him. But just moments later, he collapsed, this time for good. Despite efforts from the medical team, Costa couldn't survive. He passed away on the stage where his dream and passion had once burned brightest. That night, the bright lights turned into a haunting memory, overshadowed by the loss of a young talent with a shining future. Costa Titch's death was a shock to millions of fans who saw in him the image of resilience and ceaseless creativity. Costa lived and gave his all like a flame that burned fiercely, only to be extinguished at the place he loved most. He is no longer here, but the legacy he left, the songs, the moves, and the fiery spirit, will forever live in the hearts of all. 3. Christina Grimmie, the angel who fell in the arms of fans. Christina Grimmie, the young girl with an angelic voice, once set the stage of The Voice on fire and was one of the brightest talents of her generation. With her flourishing music career and a heart full of love for her fans, Christina was a shining star beloved by millions worldwide. But on the night of June 10, 2016, that bright light was painfully extinguished. After an emotional performance in Orlando, Christina, like always, stepped off stage to meet her fans. With a warm smile and a look of sincerity, she spent time chatting, signing autographs, and hugging every single person in the long line. Then, tragedy struck in a moment no one could react to. A strange man approached, silently, swiftly, and coldly. In just a few seconds, Christina, the girl with the wide-open heart, had her life taken by the cold muzzle of a gun. The entire venue plunged into chaos, the screams cutting through the air that had previously been filled with joy. Despite immediate medical attention, Christina couldn't survive. She passed away at 22, an age where dreams had barely begun to soar, where plans remained unfinished. The brutal act of that man not only robbed us of a talent, but also served as a painful reminder of how fragile life truly is. A fan sorrowfully said, "Christina was the light in the darkness, the voice that comforted the soul." They didn't just mourn her talent, they grieved for a kind soul. Christina Grimmie was the embodiment of kindness, passion, and love. And though she's no longer here, her image and voice will forever live in the hearts of everyone, like an angel who never left. 4. Dimebag Darrell, guitar legend, silenced in the roar of gunfire. Dimebag Darrell was one of the greatest legends in the world of metal music, reshaping music with unforgettable riffs. The soul of Pantera and later Damage Plan, Darrell lived his entire life on stage, creating rock-infused melodies that the world couldn't help but admire. He was the symbol of passion and creativity, unforgettable. But on December 8, 2004, while Darrell was lost in his powerful music at Alrosa Villa Club in Ohio, death struck unexpectedly. While the band was pouring their hearts out to the audience, a stranger appeared from the crowd, charging onto the stage with a clear aim. In a tense moment, the gunshot rang out, and Darrell fell right there, on the stage he had lived and died for. That scene struck hard into the hearts of fans. Darrell's sudden death didn't just shock the music community, it left the entire world stunned. He was an icon, an endless source of inspiration for generations of rock and metal lovers. And yet, tragedy took this talented artist away when he was at the peak of his career. 5. Sib Hashian, the final beat among the waves. Sib Hashian, the legendary drummer of the band Boston, is an icon of classic rock music. He once moved millions of hearts with his powerful, distinctive drumming, especially in the famous 1976 album Boston, which left a lasting mark in music history. With his iconic curly hair and captivating performance style, Sib lived a life fully dedicated to the art. On March 22, 2017, Sib took part in a special performance on a cruise ship, where the nostalgic melodies took the audience back to the golden age of rock. His drums echoed across the sea, blending with the lively atmosphere of the music night. But then, something unexpected happened. In the midst of the peak of the performance, Sib suddenly stopped. He collapsed behind his drum set, leaving the entire audience in shock. Despite all efforts by the medical team on board, Sib could not be revived. He passed away amidst the sound of waves and the unfinished applause from the audience. Sib's death left an irreplaceable void in the hearts of music lovers. He was not only a talented drummer but also a symbol of passion and dedication. Sib Hashian left the sound of his heart in every beat of his drums, an old friend said, moved. Even though he's gone, that beat will forever echo. Sib closed his life's music with one final performance, a departure both painful and meaningful, just like the legacy he left for the world. 6. Nick Menza. The drums fell silent at the peak of glory. Nick Menza, the legendary drummer of Megadeth, made his name with powerful, sharp beats that helped elevate the band to new heights in the 1990s. The Rust in Peace album is the clearest proof of Nick's outstanding talent, where every beat became an eternal symbol of thrash metal. After leaving Megadeth, he continued contributing to music, keeping his passion alive until the very last moment. On the night of May 21, 2016, Nick Menza was performing with the band OHM at a small club in Los Angeles. The audience below was mesmerized by the explosive, energy-filled drumming, with vibrant melodies lighting up the room. Nick, with complete focus, immersed himself in every rhythm. But then, during a peak moment, everything suddenly stopped. Nick abruptly collapsed on the drum kit. The band was stunned, and the audience could not believe their eyes. Medical teams rushed to the stage, but all efforts were in vain. Nick Menza passed away, right at the place where he shone the brightest, the stage. Nick's passing was a huge shock, not just for fans but for the global music community. He had lived every moment with his passion for music and passed away while doing what he loved the most. Although his beat has fallen silent, Nick's echoes will forever be engraved in the history of rock and metal as a symbol of dedication and an endless love for the art. 7. Colonel Bruce Hampton, the final song on A Night of Tears. Colonel Bruce Hampton was an icon of American improvisational music. Over 7 decades, he not only created but also changed the way music was perceived. With a guitar in hand, Bruce captivated audiences with emotional melodies, becoming an endless source of inspiration for generations of musicians. On May 1, 2017, at the Fox Theater in Atlanta, a special event was taking place, the 70th birthday celebration of Bruce. The stage was filled with dazzling lights, and the audience immersed themselves in the music, laughter, and the signature improvisation of this artist. Bruce appeared with confidence, leading everyone with his unique talent and creative spirit. This was not just a music night, but a tribute to his extraordinary artistic journey. When the performance reached its climax, Bruce suddenly knelt on stage, still holding his guitar. At first, everyone thought it was an improvisational performance, something typical of him. But seconds later, the lively atmosphere turned into a silence of concern. Bruce collapsed in the spotlight, with music still echoing in the air. Despite immediate first aid, he did not survive. The entire auditorium fell silent. Bruce's death was not only a huge shock but also left an infinite sorrow. He had lived an admirable life and ended it with the moment he was most proud of, between the music and the love of the audience. His legacy will forever be a guiding light for art lovers, with a spirit of adventure and boundless freedom. 8. Valencia Prime, a star shining brightly in her final moment. Valencia Prime, a talented artist and symbol of the LGBTQ+ community, used music to convey messages of love, acceptance, and pride. With an enchanting voice and a performance style full of energy, she quickly became a guiding light for those seeking to find themselves. On the night of September 12, 2022, at a small club in Philadelphia, Valencia took the stage with the confidence and passion she was known for. Bright lights illuminated the space, while her voice awakened the entire room. Every note, every lyric felt like a powerful message of love and hope for every listener. As the performance reached its peak, Valencia hit the highest notes with a radiant smile on her face. The crowd was immersed in the euphoria she brought. But at that very climax, Valencia suddenly stopped, her body collapsing in the stage lights. Panic ensued as colleagues and friends rushed to help. Despite immediate first aid, Valencia's light was forever extinguished. Her passing shook the community, leaving a huge void that could never be filled. Valencia was not just an artist, but a warrior for equality and diversity. The legacy she left is a message of love that will live on in everyone's heart. She passed away in the very brilliance she lived, like a star that shone brightly but will never fade. 9. Pedro Henrique, the flame. Burned bright, then flickered out in a moment of glory. Pedro Henrique, a talented artist from Brazil, was known for his emotional voice and exceptional stage presence. He was an embodiment of passion and dedication to music, conquering millions of fans with his stellar performances. On March 12, 2023 in São Paulo, Pedro took the stage at the year's biggest music festival, surrounded by the cheers of thousands of fans. He was full of life, with every melody intertwining emotions and euphoria, making it impossible for anyone to look away. That night, Pedro seemed to give it all, pushing his emotions to their peak as if it were his final performance. But when the atmosphere was at its most intense, everything suddenly changed. Pedro, with eyes burning bright, suddenly paused. He gripped the microphone tightly and placed it on his chest. His body tilted, and in an instant, he collapsed on stage. Despite receiving immediate medical attention, Pedro Henrique could not be saved. He passed away amidst the stage lights and unfinished applause, leaving an immeasurable sorrow in the hearts of those who loved him. Pedro's death was a huge shock to the Brazilian music community. Pedro lived for music and left us in the very moment he loved most. A close friend of his shared, choking back tears. Although Pedro is gone, his voice and the messages of love in his music will forever live on in the hearts of his fans. The stage where he fell is now an eternal symbol of an artist who lived and gave everything for music. 10. Barbara Weldons, the melancholy pause on the stage of France. Barbara Weldons, a shining star of French music, captivated audiences with her deep voice and powerful stage presence. She was not just a singer, but a storyteller through music, delivering emotionally rich and meaningful works. On the evening of July 19, 2017, at an ancient church in the south of France, Barbara took to the stage with a bright gaze, her voice resonating deeply, touching the hearts of every audience member. She sang about love, freedom, and unfulfilled dreams, themes closely tied to her own life. The audience was mesmerized, following each note, feeling the passion burning inside her. At that moment, Barbara was the soul of the performance. But then, tragedy struck. As the show reached its peak, she suddenly stopped, her eyes showing signs of distress. Before anyone could react, Barbara collapsed on stage. Panic swept over the audience. Despite immediate attempts to revive her, Barbara could not be saved. Her death shocked all of France. The cause was later determined to be a fatal electric shock from faulty sound equipment. A tragic accident took away a talent in her prime, leaving an irreplaceable void in the hearts of her fans and the music world. Barbara lived and performed as if there were no tomorrow. She touched our hearts with her music and passed away doing what she loved most. Though the stage is now empty without her, Barbara's voice and story will forever remain a vibrant flame, lighting up the hearts of those who loved her. 11. Silver King, the Lucha Libre. Legend collapses in the ring. Silver King, a living icon of Mexico's Lucha Libre, brought fame to professional wrestling for decades. Having conquered the international arena, he became a legend with his powerful style and a mask that hid his face but not his resilience. On May 11, 2019, in London, he entered the ring for an iconic match. The crowd cheered as Silver King appeared, his commanding presence and enduring strength as fierce as ever. His sharp strikes and decisive movements confirmed that he was still the immortal flame of the sport. The match intensified, with each second building suspense for the audience. Just as Silver King was about to land the finishing move, he suddenly stopped. His body collapsed onto the mat. Initially, everyone thought it was part of the show, a familiar move in Lucha Libre. But then, the tension became palpable as the referee and medical staff rushed in. Despite their efforts, Silver King could not be revived. The cause was later determined to be a sudden heart attack. He passed away at the very place that made him famous, leaving everyone in a state of disbelief. Silver King's passing was not just a loss to his family, but also a massive shock to the global Lucha Libre community. His legacy of unyielding spirit will remain etched in the hearts of his fans. Silver King lived and ended his life as a true legend. 12. Owen Hart, the unexpected tragedy of a WWE star. Owen Hart, one of the legendary names in professional wrestling, was known for his creative performances and the charismatic character, the Blue Blazer. Throughout his career, he captivated audiences not only with his innate talent, but also with his passion and dedication to the sport. On May 23, 1999, at the WWE Over the Edge event in Kansas, Owen was preparing for a dramatic high-flying entrance, a stunt designed to thrill the crowd. He was suspended on a cable from 24 feet above the ring, with the stage lights blazing and the anticipation from thousands of fans at its peak. But that moment turned into a horrific one. The cable malfunctioned, and Owen fell directly into the ring. Initially, the audience couldn't believe their eyes, thinking it was part of the act. But soon, the harsh reality became clear. Owen Hart did not survive despite immediate attempts to resuscitate him. The accident shocked not only the crowd at the event, but also rocked the entire WWE world. Fans and colleagues couldn't believe that such a bright star had passed away in such a heartbreaking manner. Owen Hart was not only an outstanding wrestler, but also a warm-hearted man who brought laughter and inspiration to everyone who met him. His death was a great loss, but his spirit, legacy, and image on the ring will forever live in the hearts of fans and in WWE history. 13. Juan Carlos Formel, the Cuban legend, collapses with music. Juan Carlos Formel, a talented musician and pride of Cuban music, dedicated his life to honoring unique Latin melodies. With his guitar in hand, he was not just an artist but also a storyteller, bringing his soulful music to audiences around the world. In 2023, during a performance in the Bronx, New York, Juan Carlos appeared as calm as ever. His guitar played familiar tunes, blending into the warm atmosphere of the venue. The applause and gazes from the audience reflected the respect they had for him. But then, in the midst of the music, tragedy struck. During the performance, his hands suddenly stopped, the melody faded, and his distant gaze seemed to signal something ominous. And then, in the shock of all, he collapsed right on stage. Despite all efforts to save him, Juan Carlos Formel passed away, leaving a large void in the hearts of music lovers. This loss was not just of a talented artist, but also of a Cuban music icon who carried the soul of an entire nation. Juan Carlos Formel's legacy is not just in his music, but in his passionate love for art and the connection he created between people through music. Though he is gone, his melodies will live on, resonating everywhere, reminding us of a great artist in the world. 14. Juan Jamlon, the social media star, collapses in the glare of online fame. Juan Jamlon, one of the prominent faces of the influencer generation in the Philippines, captivated millions of hearts with his authenticity, relatability, and continuous creative content. He was not just a content creator but also a symbol of connection for the younger generation through social media, with millions of followers and inspiring live broadcasts. On November 5, 2023, during a lively live stream, Juan appeared with a radiant smile and confident voice. The studio lights shone brightly, reflecting the positive energy he always spread. His down-to-earth stories and candid shares brought him closer to his viewers. But just as everything was running smoothly, an unusual noise rang out: a gunshot. The screen shook, the frame blurred, and the vibrant atmosphere was replaced by an eerie silence. Thousands of live viewers were left in shock. No one could have expected that, in that moment, Juan Jamlon would suddenly pass away. His death was not just a huge loss to his family and friends, but also a massive shock to his fans. Though Juan Jamlon is no longer with us, the values and joy he brought will live on. He was not just an influencer, but also a symbol of perseverance, closeness, and genuine connection with his fans. 15. Red Fox, the legendary comedian who collapsed amidst laughter. Red Fox, the comedic master of America, solidified his name with roles that captivated audiences for decades. Since the 1970s, he dominated the stage with his boundless humor, becoming an icon in the Black community. The world could never forget Sanford and Son, the sitcom where he became the standout star. From stand-up shows to exceptional roles on screen, Red Fox crafted his own legendary story. On October 11, 1991, while Hollywood was still enamored with his endless humor, his career was abruptly interrupted. While filming a scene for the sitcom The Royal Family, Red suddenly stopped. It wasn't a comedic sketch like usual, but a darkly ironic moment. He placed his hand on his chest, flashed a smile as if to tease the audience, and then collapsed. Silence immediately engulfed the room, and his co-workers rushed to his aid, but it was too late. A heart attack took Red Fox, the man who had dedicated his life to bringing laughter to the world. Red lived for laughter, and he left us amid laughter. A way to end his life without regrets, a close friend shared, in pain. The world lost a great artist, a symbol who not only brought joy but also broke barriers, bringing the laughter of the Black community to global audiences. 16. Steve Irwin, the nature hero who passed away in the heart of the ocean. Steve Irwin, known worldwide through the show Crocodile Hunter, was a symbol of passion and unconditional love for wildlife. He dedicated his life to protecting animals, from fierce crocodiles to rare species, tirelessly spreading the message of nature conservation. Tragically, on September 4, 2006, while filming underwater near the Great Barrier Reef, Steve was suddenly stabbed in the chest by a stingray. The unexpected and lethal blow ended the life of the hero in an instant. The loss was immense for the wildlife conservation world, and Steve's death left his family and millions of fans in shock. 17. Karl Wallenda, the great circus artist who fell at his pinnacle. Karl Wallenda, the founder of the Flying Wallendas, was a legend in the world of daring circus acts. With his high-wire walking performances, he had audiences holding their breath with every step. On March 22, 1978, during a performance in Puerto Rico, while Karl was walking across a tightrope stretched high above the ground, a momentary loss of balance caused him to fall, ending the life of a legend. His death marked the end of an era of incredible feats as humans constantly challenge their own limits. 18. Les Harvey, a music talent snuffed out by a fatal accident. Les Harvey, the brilliant guitarist of Stone the Crows, was a rising star with passionate music. But on May 3, 1972, during a concert in Swansea, Wales, a horrific accident claimed his life. While Les was immersed in the music, a faulty microphone electrocuted him. The audience could only watch helplessly as his guitar fell silent and his eyes closed forever. 19. Zoltan, a music star, extinguished in his final moment of glory. Zoltan, a music icon from Hungary, rose to fame with his powerful voice and emotionally charged songs. On May 12th, his dream came to an abrupt end during a live performance on Swedish television. While singing, his voice faltered, his body staggered, and he collapsed at the peak of his career. His heart stopped before millions of viewers. The sudden death left everyone in shock, though no one knew for sure what had truly happened. 20. Paul Walker, the silver screen star who died tragically on a fateful night. Paul Walker, the handsome star from Fast and Furious, was a symbol of friendship and speed. On November 30, 2013, he left us in a horrific accident. While testing a Porsche Carrera GT with a close friend, the car lost control, crashed into a utility pole, and burst into flames. Paul could not survive. His promising life and career were cut short in mere seconds. 21. Vic Morrow, the silver screen legend who died in a fatal accident. Vic Morrow, a seasoned Hollywood star, was known for his powerful, memorable roles. His career shone brightly until July 23, 1982, when tragedy struck during the filming of Twilight Zone, the movie. In a tense war scene, a helicopter lost control. Its rotor blades struck a tree, and it crashed, taking the lives of Vic Morrow and 2 child actors. His death not only shocked the film industry, but left an everlasting sorrow. 22. Edith Webster, a tragic death on stage that shattered the theater. Edith Webster, a talented stage actress, left an indelible mark on audiences with her emotional performances. But no one expected that one seemingly ordinary evening would turn into a fateful moment. On June 13, 1954, while playing a death scene on stage, Edith actually passed away from a stroke. The audience, thinking it was just an outstanding performance, failed to realize she had not awakened. Her death stunned the theater community, taking away a young talent who never had the chance to fully enjoy her career's accomplishments. 23. John Eric Hexum, from a rising star to a haunting death over a prank. John Eric Hexum, a handsome and promising actor, made a strong impression with his role in Cover Up. He was a rising star, with the entertainment industry expecting him to shine brightly. But everything came crashing down in an instant. On October 18, 1984, during a break on set, he playfully joked around with a prop gun from a scene, unaware that even blank cartridges could cause fatal harm. A gunshot rang out, and John Eric was gone forever. 24. Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, killed in a tragic on-set accident. Brandon Lee, the son of martial arts legend Bruce Lee, was at the peak of his career with his promising acting talent. In The Crow, he was not only a star, but also a symbol continuing his father's legacy. But a horrific accident occurred. On March 31, 1993, a prop gun, thought to be safe, accidentally discharged a live round instead of a blank and shot Brandon during a scene. The bullet took his life, extinguishing a promising future in a single moment. 25. John Ritter. Funny, charming, but unexpectedly taken in pain. John Ritter, an American comedy icon, known for his roles that made audiences laugh in Three's Company and 8 Simple Rules, passed away on September 11, 2003. While filming, John suddenly collapsed due to severe pain. Doctors later discovered he had an aortic dissection, a deadly condition that led to his sudden death. His passing shocked the world. We not only lost a talent, but also a beloved friend and father, someone who always brought joy to those around him. 26. Goodbye to Gravity. The passionate band swept away by the flames of death. Goodbye to Gravity, a popular rock band from Romania, had brought unforgettable nights of music to their fans. But on the night of October 30, 2015, everything changed forever. While the crowd was lost in the rhythms, a fire suddenly erupted, burning everything in an instant. Band members and many fans couldn't escape in time. The careers and lives of these young talents were cut short in one night. The disaster not only shattered dreams, but also served as a harsh reminder of the fragility of life. 27. Philip Seymour Hoffman. A brilliant star extinguished in the darkness of addiction. Philip Seymour Hoffman, one of the most talented actors in cinema, dominated the silver screen for years with his powerful and emotional performances. But on February 2, 2014, he tragically passed away from a heroin overdose, just when his career was at its peak, as he was preparing for his final scenes in The Hunger Games. Hoffman's death was not only a massive loss to cinema, but also a cautionary tale about the monsters even the greatest can't defeat. 28. Tiny Tim. Music silenced in a fateful moment. Tiny Tim, a singer known for his unique voice and eccentric style, enchanted audiences with his captivating melodies. But on November 30, 1996, while at the peak of his career at a charity event, a sudden heart attack took his life right on stage. The image of him collapsing left the audience in shock. A talented artist who lived for his craft, but fate didn't allow him to continue shining. Tiny Tim's death was a huge loss, not only to his family, but also to the world of music. 29. Heath Ledger. Top-tier talent falters in private darkness. Heath Ledger, a rising star in cinema, made the world acknowledge his talent through impressive roles. From Brokeback Mountain to The Dark Knight, he showed an incredible range. But on January 22, 2008, he passed away at the age of 28, before he could enjoy the best of what life had to offer. His death was the result of a silent battle with himself when prescription drugs led to a tragic ending. What makes it even more sorrowful is that he died while filming The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. 30. River Phoenix. A shining talent extinguished before the age of 23. River Phoenix, with his bright face and deep eyes, captured the hearts of millions of movie lovers. He was an emerging star, a symbol of the talented actor generation in the 90s, with unforgettable roles in Stand By Me and My Own Private Idaho. But at such a young age, on October 31, 1993, he passed away suddenly outside the Viper Room, a place he chose to relax after a stressful day of work. A single dose of drugs ended the life of this talented young man, stealing away opportunities and roles that he would never perform. Behind this tragic death was the loneliness and inner struggles that only he understood. In the end, River's passing left a wound that would never heal, a void that could never be filled in the film industry and in the hearts of his fans. The image of these stars dying on stage is one of the most painful and tragic moments in entertainment history. These great talents gave everything to their art, but were taken suddenly before the eyes of their cherished audiences. That moment will forever be etched in the minds of fans with an unquenchable sorrow. They were not just stars, but heroes in the hearts of the public. Do you feel sorrowful looking back at these stars? Leave a comment to share your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss any noteworthy stories from Hollywood in the future.